Hey folks, welcome back to another HP Gaming GameLINK video. It is that time, it is the end of the month, and once again we're going to delve into all things crowdfunding. This is your August 2021 Gotcha Backer. Hey folks, welcome back. For those of you who are just joining us for the first time, my name is Matt, and as I said at the outset, this is your Gotcha Backer for 2021 in August. We have got a lot of new arrivals that have hit the floor here, or hitting the table, I should say, along with some updates on what we backed back then, what we're backing now, and a little bit of something that's coming in the beyond. So first things first, new arrivals. We've got lots and lots and lots to show you. I'll start with the, let's start with the smallest first. Dynamite Games, the Stephen Rhodes collection has arrived. There's 3 games in the one box. Definitely not suitable for children. For example, one of the games is called Let's Summon Demons. Very excited to see what's in that one. A bit of a abstract horror theme game, The Night Cage, has arrived. Very excited to see that hitting the table as well. Then of course we've got the ever wonderful Kabuto Sumo, which has been unboxed and played within an inch of its life already. Very popular with our junior gamers. You can check out an unboxing for that one on the channel. If it's not live already, it will be very soon. And then one of our big box games that has arrived. I did not expect it to be this big. I'm talking about Intrepid, which is just an absolutely huge epic box of International Space Station pandemic style fun. Yeah, looking forward to that one. Check out the unboxing coming very soon. There is lots to get through. Whew, that was a big box. There is lots to get through this month for our crowdfunding extravaganza that is Gotcha Backer. So why don't we have a little bit of a look back and tell you a little bit about the projects we backed then. Okay, so the first one I want to talk about is a project that is an expansion to an existing project that we backed way back then. I'm talking about Dungeon Drop, Dropped Too Deep, and Tavern Tales, the add-on standalone expansions to, of course, the wonderful Dungeon Drop by Phase Shift Games. Now, this one is currently on the water. They've been hit with a massive spike in shipping prices, as has the rest of the world. However, they've decided to plow on ahead to make sure the backers get their games, which is fantastic. They've implemented a few things in terms of little incentives for people to help with shipping, i.e. a little add-on pack for both Dungeon Drop and the next one, Drop Drive, which is another drop style game, but set in space. Check out for that one coming soon. They've done this in the expectation that if you back or support the little pack that'll come out and give them, $5, $10. That'll help subsidize the cost of shipping. You'll get something else, and then they're expecting you to then back Drop Drive as well when it launches on Kickstarter later this year. So they're hoping to potentially make back some of those shipping costs and offset those shipping costs as well, which is awesome. Dungeon Drop Too Deep is effectively deeper and stronger monsters from deeper in the dungeon, along with Tavern Tales, which is what happens when you finish your Dungeon Drop. You go back up to the tavern, have a beer, and whoever can create the most amazing story is going to win the game. They are currently on the water. Addresses have been locked. Everything's shipping. I expect to get those in the not too distant future. So look out for those when we get a chance to unbox them. It's going to be a very exciting time indeed. Another game that has just completed production and is very exciting, hopefully it's going to start hitting its way across the waves very soon, is Sons of Fariel by Tabular Games. Now this is one that is a worker placement style Euro game. You're taking on the forces of darkness that are infesting the forest, and it's your job to beat back the dark, so to speak. Beautiful little miniatures. They come with an add-on pack where you can add little masks to them to create their faces and change their faces and mood, which I think is fantastic. The cosmetic minis and print samples for the bats and the nightmare creatures that are coming in to attack your forest, while still cartoony, can be quite terrifying. Again, I think it's a game that's going to add a lot to the worker placement mechanic. At this stage, it is on its way. I think there's an art book as well that is coming out, which is definitely going to be worth a look because it's fantastic design. Sons of Feriel coming soon, hopefully, in the not too distant future. Mantis Falls. The next one I want to talk about is Mantis Falls. Now, this is a game for 2 to 3 players with a hidden trader mechanic, or is it? The trader mechanic may or may not be in the deck. It just depends on how the cards are dealt. You won't know if the person playing opposite you or persons playing opposite you are working with you until the very end of the game. Now, this is a worker placement / push your luck / deduction game all in one, but just for 3 players. So if you've ever been sitting around going, oh, I'd love to play Secret Hitler, but there's only 3 of you there, imagine that experience, but with just for 3 people. That's what Mantis Falls is, and it's printed in this beautifully deluxe, dark, rich, noir, sepia-toned world, and it's on its way. Addresses have been locked. It is shipping as we speak, so we expect that to arrive next month, hopefully maybe even in the coming weeks, which is very exciting. Mantis Falls is a game that I'm going to be able to play with my wife, and we do like a good competitive game. We play Splendor a lot, and she beats me 99% of the time at Splendor. But Mantis Falls is something where you don't know if you're working together or not, and I think that is going to be most of the core pull of the game. Who's working against who? Are you my friend? Are you not? That's going to be fantastic. Mantis Falls on its way, looking very, very, very excited to get that to the table. Should be here very, very soon. Check it out if you haven't already, and check back more when it goes up on our channel. Okay, now one game that is delayed, not for shipping reasons, probably one of the only ones on this list that is not facing a shipping crisis at this point. And I am talking about a game from an IP that is incredibly, incredibly popular. The delays caused with this one are because, for whatever reason, production delays were delayed. Production delays occurred, I should say. That was very terrible English. And because of those delays being occurring, it coincides with the release date of the film, of the final film in this particular franchise, which has prevented production from moving further. There's been an embargo placed on this one. I am talking about Jurassic World, the miniatures game. Now, this was originally slated to release or to be delivered, I think, earlier this year. Correct me if I'm wrong. There'll be a little comment on the bottom if I've got that wrong. But because of production delays and other bits and pieces, just with elements from across the world, not necessarily COVID related, but I think because, well, maybe they had less people in the office working on the product, so production was pushed back. Universal have placed an embargo because, of course, their new Jurassic World film Dominion is getting ready to start its campaign launch, and they do not want the game to launch any spoilers. They also want the game to be in line with what's happening in Dominion. So all the minis had to be redesigned and resculpted to reflect the characters or the animals from the Dominion film. The set pieces had to be changed for the different scenario pieces and cosmetic tiles and things like that as well. So at this stage, a game that was meant to be already in our hands may not see the light of day until 2022 or even 2023, which is a massive shock, and everyone's taking a massive hit over this, particularly Exod Games, who have taken ownership of the product away from Chimera. So I think it's going to be interesting to see whether or not this releases to coincide with the Dominion film or whether it's going to be held back until after release. Who knows? Universal have placed an embargo on. Exod have tried to, in their updates, showcase what they've been working on, but they can't because they've been placed under a lockdown of a different sort, I guess. So it's going to be interesting to see the redesign of the different miniatures and figures. And when I say miniatures, they're actually very huge. So yeah, we just have to wait and see what happens with that one. It's an unfortunate delay, but I think the fact that it's going to coincide and tie in with the movie better is something that I'm actually for. So I'm happy to wait a little bit longer if it's going to be a quality product that's going to tie in. That's the Jurassic World's miniatures game. And last but not least, I want to talk about Zombicide Undead or Alive, which we backed way back in December or January, one of them, I'm not sure. It is an epic zombicide adventure set in the Wild Wild West. What's not to like? The updates that we've been getting via the Kickstarter page for the sculpts, the different zombie sculpts, the Wendigo sculpt, which looks incredible and it's epic. It's huge, it's massive. Along with the different dice components, the metallic steampunk dice. It just looks absolutely fantastic. And again, while it has been delayed because of, everything's been delayed, I'm happy to wait because I know that Simon are going to produce something that's absolute quality. And that's going to be, worth the weight in gold. I mean, a Zombicide game in general is usually a fun time. Zombicide in the Wild West with those crazy animalistic zombies, the Wendigo, the Abomination Beast monsters. Oh my goodness, it just blows my mind the amount of detail that are in these things. And I love a good game with table presence. This is going to be fantastic. Zombicide Undead or Alive. If you missed the campaign, I believe they are still taking late pledges, so you can jump on board and have a look at Simon's page, also the page on Kickstarter. But yeah, it's definitely worth a look. Zombicide Undead or Alive, going to be an amazing one. All right, now moving into the present to talk about all the games we are currently backing on Kickstarter and GameFound and everything else crowdfunding related. The first one I want to talk to you about today, I should say, is a simple game made by a company that is known for playing cards. Yes, I'm talking about Bicycle, and I'm talking about their big box board game, Super Truffle Pigs. Now, when I say big, I don't mean big, but I mean it's like a worker placement style truffle set collection game with wolves that will eat your little piggy meeples as they make their way around the board. Now, this one is very simple. It is child friendly, but it still has enough deep strategy to keep even the most seasoned veteran gamer involved, and the fact that you can make your piggies do crazy truffle piggy handstands to help him collect and harvest truffles is kind of cute as well, which is really awesome. Super Truffle Pigs is currently on Kickstarter until I think mid next month, so you can check it out now. It's going to be quite spectacular. At the same time, a beautiful production, great design, worker placement, a little bit of programming element involved as well. Super Truffle Pigs, definitely worth a look. Check it out. All right, the next game that I want to talk to you about today is The Adventures of Tennessee James. Now, this is very much similar in style to an archaeologist of another flavour, Indiana Jones, and it is a temple, tomb raiding adventure, push your luck style game, tile placement, worker placement, program and move sort of scenario where you're dungeon delving through all sorts of crazy maps and adventures trying to find the best loot and treasure and then get out again alive. This one, I have a feeling, may not quite reach its funding goal at the time of this recording. It still has about 5 or 6 days left on Kickstarter, and they're only at about 30%, 40% funded. It looks interesting. I know they're going to plan a relaunch down the track. It's a bit of a shame because it looks like it would be a whole lot of fun and good family adventure. I just hope there is a boulder tile that moves around the map and causes absolute chaos and mayhem. That would be a bit of fun. The Adventures of Tennessee James, the artwork looks fantastic, very comic book style, but I think this just hasn't had the attention that it deserves. They did post a tutorial, sort of a game playthrough video, which unfortunately was quite low quality and made it very difficult to see exactly what was going on. And I think in the not too distant future, when they relaunch, they're going to relaunch with better graphics, stretch goals, more involvement of the campaign, more content for the game as well. So it's definitely going to be worth a look when it comes back on. I don't know when that will be at this stage. Who knows? Maybe in the next 3 days they'll get, they'll reach their target. And if they do, fantastic, good on them. If not though, check out the relaunch, jump on the Kickstarter page, check out what it's all about. At least then you'll have an idea a bit more about what's going on. That's The Adventures of Tennessee James, and good luck to them over the next few days. Okay, our next game that we're going to talk about is one that is very close to home, i.e. on this continent, this great continent of Australia. And I'm talking about Grail Games' The Gardens. Now, this one is based on the gardens of Sydney Parks Recreation, which we're not allowed into at the moment because of lockdowns across the border, across the state, across the country. But this is a game that is very much in line with their other titles, i.e. Boomerang. It is a drafting style tile laying game where you'll lay paths around the gardens and move visitors through the gardens and score points based on what it is they see and the experiences they have. Now, for those of you who are afraid of birds, you may not like this one because the first player marker is a little meeple of an ibis, otherwise known affectionately here in this country as a bin chicken. And there's also, I think, the landmarks expansion included with this one as well. So you can actually physically place landmarks. So as you move around the park, you might see off in the distance the Opera House or the Sydney Harbour Bridge, for example. The best part about this particular game is not so much the fact that, well, the game itself looks solid, but at a different pledge level, you can back to get the other game, which is a walk in the park. A walk through the park, I think it is. And it's basically a second standalone game that comes with this core game, The Gardens, which I think is fantastic. Now, this is more of a move and write, roll and write style game, except instead of rolling, you're programming your moves around the board, and you can play it solo as well, which is very, very exciting too. Gardens components are simple, yet very nicely and very almost Art Deco-y in their design and style. There's location boards and maps that will allow you to lay out the tiles across the gardens as you make your way through the game. And again, it's going to be one of these games that has a quick play time, but some deep strategy as well, which I really, really like. The Gardens, currently on Kickstarter, is due to finish the campaign mid-September, so there's still plenty of time to get on board and secure your copy as well. The Gardens by Grail Games. Check it out. Okay, we talked about this one last month in our Gotcha Back in our Beyond section, but now the time has come. It is here, and we are talking about, of course, the wonderful, the ever wonderful and amazing Wild Serengeti. Now, they have unlocked some amazing new components, including hippos and all sorts of other weird and wonderful creatures. I think there's ostriches as well now. This is a game where you play the role of a photographer, videographer, content creator, and you are out in the wilderness, in the Serengeti, creating these amazing tableaus of animals and creatures and all things wonderful as well. The component design of this game, one of the biggest things I'm always a fan of is table presence. If it looks great on the table, I'm going to enjoy that immersive tactile experience. This game has it in spades. I mean, apart from the fact that it's got a round marker that is representative of, you know, Pride Rock from The Lion King, for lack of a better example. You know, the big tableau board where you'll play tiles and try and make the pictures match the cards you've got, the program cards that you've got to take those shots. Absolutely incredible. And the meeples themselves, the characters and the little animals that they've got for this game, the components just look incredible. I mean, this is something on the level of, dare I say it, Everdell in terms of the production quality of this game. And this is still prototypes we're talking about. Now, Wild Serengeti still has about 3 weeks left on Kickstarter. They've been funded, it's complete, it's going to be an amazing game from now on. It's just about pushing those stretch goals and making the game the best version it can possibly be. I cannot stress this enough. Wild Serengeti is going to be incredible. Check it out if you haven't already. It's going to be amazing. And our last one for this month's Now section of Got You Back that I want to talk about, of course, we saved the best till last. I'm talking about a game that involves dragons, but not in the way you'd expect. It is the ever wonderful and amazing and beautifully drawn Flamecraft. Yes, you heard me right, Flamecraft. I'm talking about a game in which dragons, the mythical creatures and beasts, are no longer, you know, hoarding treasure and causing trouble and being the boss monster that you have to fight in the game. I'm talking about dragons that are being utilized to bake goods or, you know, forge metals or any number of other things that you can create within the town. Flamecraft is a classic Euro-style worker placement game in which you're going to take control of a person within the town. You're going to make town developments. You're going to open up a bakery, for example, and use your dragons to effectively craft certain elements that will help you create components that will allow you to craft newer, bigger, shinier, wonderful things, and of course better the town as well. Ultimately, the player who has the best town renovations, I guess, at the end of the game is going to be crowned the winner. Now, the beauty of this is the board for this game is huge, but it is not wide. It is like a big, long tableau, rectangular board of awesome. The artwork on the base board alone is fantastic. The artwork on the components, the overlays that you put on the board as you build or as those buildings are built is amazing. The strategy of, do I build this building now so I can use it later, or do I wait so I can stop other players from building that building and using that building, is mind-boggling. And the puzzles for this campaign to help people unlock secrets and help with stretch goals. It's ingenious the way they've come up with some of these crazy, crazy puzzles that are on the Kickstarter page and also obviously on the Flamecraft website as well. The dragon meeples and the minis and the extra components for this game, again, you know, table presence and production elements and design. This game just looks beautiful, absolutely stunning. It's definitely worth a look. It is, I will say this, it is on the pricier end of the spectrum. Now, this is a big box game, so expect to spend between $90 to $120 on this one. That's Australian, but the experience and the replayability is going to be worth it. It's going to be incredible. I expect this one to be something that you can hit the table with junior gamers, maybe not junior gamers, but someone like Charlotte, who obviously has grown up with games, will be able to understand the mechanics of this and really hit it home. Flamecraft just looks incredible. As I said, the minis look fantastic, production elements look great. If you don't know what Flamecraft is, do yourself a favor and check it out on Kickstarter. They've still got about 2 weeks left to go in the campaign. They've already been funded. This is going to be made. You do not want to miss out. It's going to be quite spectacular. And that takes care of all the games we are backing now, or some of the best that we've backed now. It's time to go a little bit further and start looking beyond. Okay, one of the biggest ones that we want to talk about was a couple of big box games, some of which we've already talked about in our Beyond section, but one, of course, that I want to really bring your attention to is our good friends Megacorp and Games Scandalo. This will launch sometime in September. It's going to be amazing. You can check out our preview video on the channel if you haven't already done so. Scandalo is the deduction game for the ages. It is the sequel or unofficial sequel to their hit game Awkward Guests. I believe this one is a harder challenge. Definitely worth a look. That's coming out in September. Next big box game I want to talk about again is one that we've already talked about in the Beyond section a couple of months back. I'm talking about CMON Games Masters of the Universe, the board game. This is going to be huge. Now, I will say this before we go any further. Apart from looking the business, apart from being with a great IP, this is a CMON Kickstarter or a Come On Kickstarter, which means, yes, the base box is going to be about $90 US or something for the backers, so $120, $130 Australian. If you want to go all in on this, it's not going to cost you 120 bucks. You're talking, you know, $300, maybe $400 by the end of the campaign if you want absolutely everything. There's never going to be one core box. There's going to be core box, expansion boxes, other bits and pieces, character packs, add-ons. It's going to add up. Will it be worth it? Looking at the IP and being a He-Man fan from back in the days of yore, I believe it will be worth it. I don't think I'll be going all in as such. The core box alone is going to have a ton of content that you can play as. The beauty of this game is it can be played in so many different ways. Zombicide has a co-op or a solo mode. That's pretty much it. This game, Masters of the Universe, has 1 versus the many, 1 versus 1, 1 versus 2, 2 versus 2. There is a complete, you can basically play it however the hell you like. I'm not the boss of you, and neither is CMON. So, being that Masters of the Universe is a skirmish style game, you set up scenarios and you can play through scenarios, or you can just pick a couple of minis and go at it head to head. You can do whatever you like. It is a complete sandbox set in the Masters of the Universe. I think the fact that you can be 1 versus many, so you can have one player playing the heroes, everyone else playing the villains and trying to bring you to task. I think the fact that you can have, you know, a team, so 3 versus 3 if you wanted to, and you can still control minions and things as well on the board. The setup of the board is completely customizable and randomized, so you can set it up how you like. Scenario guidebooks will give you instructions on how to do base scenarios, but then you can make your own, obviously, from then as well. Then you've got the add-on packs, which will add new heroes, new villains, new scenarios, new dice components. I mean, this is a dice battler after all, so I will most likely lose in every sense of the word because I suck at dice battling games. But Masters of the Universe, if you back this on day one, now here's the big one. If you back this on day one, you will get a Castle Grayskull miniature. When I say miniature, it's big enough to house the other miniatures inside. Yes, you heard me. It has a drawbridge that you can sit the mini of He-Man on, which means the mini for Castle Grayskull ain't so mini. And the fact that that's something that's going to be able to be painted and will just look absolutely amazing. Talk about table presence on the table. Holy crap balls. Castle Grayskull, He-Man. I still remember having my Castle Grayskull and Skeletor big castle play sets, the ones that opened out, had the traps and the nets and everything else, and had the castle, the Skeletor castle had the snake staff you could speak into to alter your voice. Holy crap, it was amazing. And seeing that represented as a mini on the table, that's going to be amazing. So even if I don't go all in, having the Masters of the Universe game with that sitting there ready to go, that is huge for me. I'm really excited for that as well. Check it out, starting in September, so about a month away, not quite a month away, maybe only 3 weeks now, which is exciting. I will put a link in the description for this video for the Kickstarter launch page. Make sure you click that notify button so you get in on that first day. It's going to be a big one. All right, and I expect it to be funded in like less than an hour. So jump on board when you can. And that brings us to the last one I want to talk about, going beyond, something new, something different IP altogether, but it's going to be a whole lot of fun. I am talking about Night Model's Batman Escape from Arkham Asylum. This one is going to be huge. Now, they've been leaking out emails with different models and things. It is a minis game at its core, but at the same time, this is a game in which it pays to be the bad guy. So you will be playing as a villain, so Joker, Harley Quinn, any of those bad guys, and you will be trying to escape from Arkham Asylum. As you make your way through the asylum towards those gates and towards sweet, sweet freedom, you're going to come across boss monsters or boss enemies, such as, of course, the Batman, Hugo Strange, a host of others that are yet to be announced as well. This is going to be a dice battler, I would imagine, and it's going to be feature some amazing art. The mini sculpts look really fantastic. It is still a fair way out, so it's not. I don't think we're launching anytime soon. But there's also crazies within the asylum. The lunatic minis have been announced as well. So while you'll be trying to fight your way out past all of the guards, you might find there'll be a few other crazies and other surprises in store as you make your way out and to that freedom. Escape from Arkham is going to be quite spectacular. It's another big box Batman game, so yay, I'm all in. That's coming out very soon. Check out that one when we know more. We will tell you all that sweet, sweet information. Until then, though, we just have to wait and see what happens as we move forward. And that's it. That brings us to the end of another Got Your Backer. This is for August 2021. If you're watching this in September, what are you doing? You're meant to watch it the day it comes out. But yes, this has Got Your Backer for 2021. If you have any questions or comments, pop them down in the comment section below. If you are one of our Patreon subscribers, thank you so much for your support. We really appreciate it. We have unlocked a new tier on our Patreon page as well, so you can just get in there, get support, get early access. We've got a whole host of exclusive content. It's up there just for our backers and supporters, so by all means jump on board there as well. And if you want to drop us an email, hit us up at orders@hbgaming.com.au, or you can always jump on the store to get your game on hbgaming.com.au. Shipping statewide and nationwide to Australia and to New Zealand as well. So we hopefully will get you out your products as soon as we possibly can. Other than that, folks, we'll be back next month with some crazy, crazy updates on Kickstarter. Check out our TikTok as well. We've got a few crazy videos up there, and it is growing fast by the day. Stay in touch, play more games, get back to the table. We'll see you back there very soon. It is bye for now.